In this video, we will present the Learning Analytics dashboard, whose purpose is to provide to the users of the Mathesys platform with a visual, fast and intuitive way to view at a glance learners' progress, either at an individual or classroom level. The dashboard is accessible by the tutors, independent learners and caregivers through the Learning Experience Supervisor and Monitoring and Progress Panel section of the Mathesys online portal. It is divided in two sections, one for the class workgroup overview, where visualizations are shown taking into account the whole chosen group, and another for learner overview, where visualizations are shown taking into account the selected learner. In order to view the dashboard, it is necessary to select our learning environment and classroom. Most of the graphs contain time granularity, which the user can change. It is also possible to zoom in specific sections of the graph to see more details if needed. All graphs have an export functionality, which enables the export of the graph or the raw data in different formats. Specific labels can also be temporarily removed from the graph if needed. Finally, all graphs contain a help section where the user can find detailed explanations on the information displayed. The first graph of the class workgroup dashboard displays the learning achievement overview with the average uptake on the presented learning contents of all the learners of the classroom. One line is displayed per learning experience. Similarly, the effort overview shows the overall time spent on each learning experience within the classroom to evaluate the effort employed to learn specific subjects. If we select a specific learning experience, two more graphs appear at the top of the dashboard. The first one shows an overview of the learning achievement on each smallest piece of knowledge that takes part in a learning experience over the time. This piece of knowledge is what we call the smart learning atoms. In our example, we have emotion recognition, motor coordination, order of events, and sequence reproduction. The other graph, similarly, represents the learning achievement, but this time on the learning goals that form part of the learning experience. In our example, we have attention skills, motor skills, sequencing, social skills, and general skills for kids aged between 6 and 9. Further below, the dashboard contains two pie charts with information on how many learners have finalized their learning sessions and how many sessions are finalized. Then, we have a set of bar charts with a comparison on the average time spent on each learning experience and the number of times that each device, such as tablet, desktop, or robot, was used in the classroom. At the bottom, we see a pie chart with a high-level overview of the effect identified in the learners of the classroom. As we can see, in the classroom, learners have been mostly engaged during their learning experiences, with a small portion of frustration and boredom recorded. Finally, we can see a radar chart, where we can compare students from the classroom based on their collaborative profile. 4 collaborative parameters are calculated by the system for such profiles, and calculations are done on learners that have taken part in collaborative learning experiences, where 2 students participate in the same learning experience with 2 different devices. In our example, there has been no collaboration recorded yet. In the Learner dashboard, we first need to select a learner. Similarly to the classroom dashboard, we can now see learning achievement and effort overview, but for a specific learner. If we select a learning experience, we can now see specific information per smart learning atom and learning goal. Further below, we see the device usage of the learner and overview of the affective states recorded. Our learner has been mostly engaged during her interaction with Mathesys. Moving on, we have an indication of the collaborative profile in the form of a radar, while on the left we could see how the collaborative parameters evolve through time, although our learner has not participated in any collaborative learning experiences yet. The next bar chart shows the average learning achievement per learning experience. Our learner has had similar achievement on all three learning experiences that participated. At the bottom of the dashboard, we can see the list of the learning experiences, and clicking on each one, we can access the corresponding learning session. The Learning Session Overview dashboard contains all details related to a specific learning session, either ongoing or finished. The first two graphs show the evolution of the Smart Learning atoms and learning goals. We can clearly see in our example how the weight representing the learning achievement increases throughout the session. Below, we can see a graph with information on performance, affective states, and learning achievement. We can see that performance, as identified by the system, is recorded with values ranging from 0, 1 to 1, while the rest are positive values. If we remove performance, we can clearly see how the overall learning achievement progressively increased in relation to the affective states of the learner. At the beginning of the session, the system recorded some frustration, but after, the learner was completely engaged with the learning materials presented, easy at the beginning and hard towards the end of the session. Further down, we can see a similar graph, but with the affect states represented by a single line in different colored zones, as in the theory of flow, which is the model used within the frames of Mathesis for affect recognition. Again, we can see frustration recorded at the beginning of the session, but after that, the learner was kept engaged. This was an overview of the Learning Analytics dashboard in Mathesis. We hope you enjoyed it. You can see further explanatory videos on our project website. You can also join our project network and follow us on our social media networks on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube channel.